Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. I figure since last Wednesday's top 10 countdown, we talked about the highest 10 all-time highest grossing movies. So this week, we're going to talk about the top 10 all-time highest grossing horror movies. Because last week was just movies in general. This week is just going to be horror movies. Now, if you're a horror fan, more than likely, the top 5, you're going to know. The bottom 5, unless you're a hardcore fan of horror movies, you may not know the bottom 5. But pretty much everybody, even if you don't like those kinds of movies, are going to know the top 5. And this top 10 countdown comes courtesy of GameRant.com. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this week's top 10 countdown. That is top 10 all-time highest grossing horror movies. Number 10 is Us. It grossed $175,008. Number 9, Get Out. And it was just a skosh above $176 million. Number 8, A Quiet Place. Just a little bit more than $188 million. Number 7, World War Z. And it was $202 million. And number 6, It Chapter 2. And it was $211.5 million. 10 through 6, once again, Us, Get Out, A Quiet Place, World War Z, and It Chapter 2. And again, this top 10 countdown comes courtesy of GameRant.com. Number 5, The Exorcist. And it was almost $233 million. Number 4, Ghostbusters, which to me is funny because to me Ghostbusters was not scary at all. To me, it shouldn't even be classified as a thriller. But it grossed $242 million. Number 3, Jaws, $260 million. And number 2, The Sixth Sense, $293.5 million. And everybody should know number 1, which was It. And it was $327.5 million. And the 3 that just missed the top 10 were Halloween, What Lies Beneath, and Gremlins. Any thoughts on this week's top 10 countdown? Please feel free to let me know. And I did that one just because last week I did top 10 all-time highest grossing movies, and there was not one thriller in the top 10. And I mentioned in last week's top 10 countdown that I personally liked thrillers instead of fantasy type movies and sci-fi type movies. So I figured we would just do the top 10 thrillers this week. Now, next week, I'm not really sure if I'll do another video about movies on the top 10 countdown or if I'll head in another direction. You know, I always try to do some that are about sports and some that are not about sports. So I may drift back over into sports next week. It all depends on if I get any requests between now and next Wednesday on a top 10 countdown. But for now, let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. And this dad joke is actually a story. And it was about this frog. And this frog went to the bank to take out a loan. And when he walked in, he noticed that one of the ladies behind the counter, her name was Patty Whack. And he said, "That's a cool name. I'm going to go talk to her." So he walks up to Miss Patty Whack and tells her he wants to take out a loan for $10,000. She tells him that that's kind of steep. That's a lot of money. And he said, it's no big deal. My name is Kermit Jagger. I'm the son of Mick Jagger. And if you give me the loan, I'll surely pay it back. Because if not, I give my dad a bad name because everybody knows who Mick Jagger is. And she says, well, that's still a lot of money for a loan. Do you have a collateral? And he said, yes. And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out this little bitty necklace. And that was all he had. And she looked at it and she said, that's nowhere near $10,000, but let me go talk to my boss. So she goes back there to talk to her boss, and she walks back there and she tells her boss that there's a frog out there named Kermit Jagger that wants a $10,000 loan. And her boss says, well, does he have a collateral? And she says, yeah, he has this little necklace right here. And her boss looks at her and says, that's a knick-knack, paddywhack. Give the frog a loan. His old man is a rolling stone. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.